pouring your heart out. Welcome to part 11 of the Sarva Ratna Sundaram series. The moon shined brightly in the sky. Purnima stood near her window, smiling at the moon, while the gentle breeze brushed the hair strands on her face. Purnima remembered the only man she had ever fallen in love with, how he made her smile, how they spoke, and how he shook her hands. Everything felt so special. She felt butterflies in her stomach. While Purnima was busy thinking about him, she got a phone call. It was from her best friend since her childhood days. Purnima felt excited and answered the call. "Hi, Appi." Her best friend could feel Purnima's joy and replied, "Someone seems very happy today. What is the good news, Purni?" Purnima blushed. "Oh, nothing. I was just enjoying the beauty of the moon, Appi. Look outside your window." Appi walked to her window and she spoke. "Wow, you are right. The moon is indeed so beautiful today. Still, you cannot hide your secrets from me, Purni. We have been friends for around 2 decades now." Purnima laughed. "You know me so well, Appi. I was thinking of that man I met a few days before. Something feels very special, Appi. Have you seen me talk about other men like this in the last few years?" Appi exclaimed, "Oh, someone is finally in love. I am so happy for you, Purni. Why do you not speak to him? You anyways have his phone number." Purnima blushed. "I am scared, Appi. I do not even know what he thinks of me. What if all this is only in my head?" Appi paused for a long time and spoke. Yeah, I know that feeling." Purnima was shocked. "Wait, how do you know that feeling?" Appi giggled. You caught me. I think I like someone I met at my workplace, Purni. He is such a gentleman. He is funny, humble, and I get so drawn towards him." Purnima almost jumped up in joy. "Oh my God, my best friend is in love too. Have you spoken to him, Appi?" Appi shook her head. "I am scared too, Purni." Purnima slapped her head gently. "Let us do one thing. I will call my man on this full moon night, as you know how special it is for me. And you also talk to your man by then. Okay?" Appi felt happy. "I am so thankful to have you as my best friend, Purni. Sure, we shall express ourselves on the full moon night and see how it goes. All the best, Purni." Purnima twirled in delight. "All the best, Appi." Purnima was excited, nervous, and blushing at the same time. She went to sleep and could not wait to talk to the man of her dreams. The next day, Purnima had a day off from her work. So, she decided to visit and explore new places in the city. She wore a baby pink kurta and looked delightful from the joy and love within her. It was sunny, and Purnima passed through a busy shopping street. Her eyes caught an interesting shop at the corner of the road. She was curious and walked into the shop. The shop was nicely lit and smelled pleasant, with jasmine flowers soaked in a bronze pot. The wooden statue of Lord Shiva was placed right behind the bronze pot. Purnima carefully watched every little thing in the shop when she suddenly heard a voice. The shopkeeper asked, "Hello, Betaji, are you searching for something?" The shopkeeper was a man with a polite voice. He looked aged, with wrinkles below his eyes. He smiled warmly, and Purnima felt a sense of trust in him, like a fatherly figure. She smiled at him and replied, "Hello, sir. I am not searching for something specific. Your shop looked so interesting with all those different varieties of gemstones that I felt curious to come here." The shopkeeper nodded and spread a royal blue velvet cloth on the table. He took out a few pearl jewels and placed them on the velvet cloth. He looked at Purnima and said, "You look like a person who is very fond of the moon. Is that so?" Purnima was baffled. "Oh yes, I hold a special place for the moon in my heart." The shopkeeper smiled. "And so, I am showing you the pearls, the gemstone that belongs to the planet moon. Please have your seat here, Betaji." Purnima widened her eyes and sat before the shopkeeper. "Wow, they look amazing. Are all the pearls pinkish in color?" The shopkeeper arranged the pearls as he spoke. "No, Betaji, you can find various other colors of pearls as well." Purnima shook her head and watched around the shop to find a picture of a pearl pendant. It looked huge and it had an irregular shape. Purnima pointed at that picture and asked, "Is that a pearl too? Do you have it in your shop?" The shopkeeper narrowed his eyes to find the picture that Purnima pointed at. "No, Betaji, that is the Imperial Hong Kong pearl. It is a slightly silvery white colored pearl and it weighs around 128 carats. Empress Dowager Zhu Si possessed this pearl and kept it with her as a sign of good luck. She ruled China for 50 years until around 1908. As the empress was very fond of her jewelry. When she died, they filled her tomb with many precious gemstones, pearls and diamonds. And because the Imperial Hong Kong pearl was very dear to the empress, they placed this pearl in her mouth, believing they could protect her body from decaying." Purnima listened carefully. "So the Imperial Hong Kong pearl is buried with the empress now?" The shopkeeper answered, "Around 20 years after the empress' death, they severely demolished the tomb and took away all the precious gemstones. That included even this beautiful pearl. Later, in 1940, the American company called Imperial Pearl Syndicate purchased this pearl and gave this name." As she imagined the story, Purnima looked at the picture. "The pearl looks so beautiful." The shopkeeper smiled. "It is indeed beautiful, Betaji. It is also called the miracle of the sea." Purnima looked back at the pearls on the velvet cloth and thought of how beautiful they would look if she wore them when she met her man. She looked around the shop further and saw many beautiful conch shells kept with some small machinery and accessories. Purnima approached the conch shells and asked the shopkeeper, "What are so many conch shells for?" The shopkeeper replied, "That is one of the specialities of our shop, Betaji. You can get something you love carved on these beautiful conch shells." Purnima felt excited. "Wow! Can I get a message carved on it too?" The shopkeeper beamed. "Oh yes, Betaji." He gave her a piece of paper and told her to write whatever she wanted on the shell. Purnima thought of her man. She wanted to buy an exceptional gift for him, and what better way than carving out her feelings on such a beautiful conch shell that they could keep for the rest of their lives. Purnima took the pen and poured her heart into the piece of paper that the shopkeeper had given with her beautiful handwriting. The shopkeeper looked at the card and smiled. Very meaningful indeed, Betaji. Then he carefully carved Purnima's words, which looked so beautiful, on the conch shell. After a few minutes, the shopkeeper gave her the conch shell keychain with the name etched in italics. Purnima touched it with her soft hands. Purnima took out the small gift note in her handbag and wrote another message. Purnima tied this note to the conch shell keychain. She felt so happy and was thrilled to experience the sweetest taste of love for the very first time. Her imagination tickled as to how she would share this with her man and express her love for him. She was now doubtful whether to wait for the full moon night or to express her passion immediately. What message did Purnima get carved on the conch shell? Will Purnima wait until the full moon night, or will her feet move towards her man rapidly as soon as she leaves the shop? Would this be the most beautiful day of Purnima's life? Stay tuned with us as the answers get unraveled in the next episode. Mitraaya namaha.